Okay, what's going on, Grand Rising? Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. And what we're going to be looking at today is dollar index, the futures market, and the indices market. Now, if you guys have been following the Telegram, you've seen the updates that I've been putting on the marketplace. We ended up buying up these positions on CFD to rally up to where we're at right now. And now that I think that buyers are taking profit as prices have gotten to market open and starting to fail, I'm starting to think that during New York today, we might have a little slight retracement at this area. And the reason being is because, like I said, if you were looking at my Telegram, we were buying positions yesterday on NAS 100, which is essentially the same thing in this area here, and we wanted to play up to the structure break here. And then when we look left and we see the supply candle right here, we see the high of the week, right, that we wanted to take, which we never got that on Wednesday. So we still could end up doing that. So we still have those positions locked on NAS 100, but going into futures today, I have a short on the board just because I want to see if maybe those buyers are going to start taking profit inside this up candle at market open, right? And then we slide back down to the current LOD, right? And then you start to slide back down to the buyer's range from yesterday. So that's where my mind pretty much is. And when you look at a higher time frame, they're already starting to do that right now. When you look at a higher time frame, you can see that, like on a line graph, we've exceeded the area that we wanted, which was here. And so it's not saying that we won't still go and fill more of this, right? And same thing here. It's just we're starting to topple over at the right time in the right area, I believe. So we'll see what they end up giving us today. But I've got that position locked. I'll kind of show what mine looks like. Now, today, since I just took that payout, I'm trading micros today. I'm not really going anything crazy, but same location, same execution. So practice how you're going to play, right? And so that's what I'm looking at for today. We'll see what we get. We got about 5 minutes out. I'm gonna watch what we normally watch. Now, one thing I didn't do, I didn't really mark up this ES. I marked up SPX and not ES, unfortunately here. So that's what I'm gonna spend some time doing here while we will see if that price is gonna work out. And then I do have Top Step up. I did have some swing positions on ES, and then I ended up closing them. I had the risk trailed to here, and then I just decided I wanted to get out of it. So previous day low is here. All right, previous day high is actually previous day high is going to be here, and then the high of week is up there, right? So this is your previous day high, right? If price does continue up, we'll erase this New York. We don't need that London, and we need to move this to 15. So we still could go higher. I'm not saying we can't, but it's the way that we look on NQ. It looks more than likely to me that we could, find that downside, which would be pretty interesting here. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to mark the daily open. How much time do we have? 25? Okay, we're looking good. Mark that Friday open. I like the crown forming on NQ. It might be a little early though, Friday. But if buyers start taking profit, they'll do it fast. Okay, so we've got everything set up and ready. And I think, like I said, if you are looking at this the way we have, and we think about buyers taking profit, then I think we could see some, maybe some fall. Like I said, I really like NQ in that crown form. That's why I ended up entering that, especially after, I took profit on a lot of my swing positions. So it made sense to enter a short as I was taking profit on a buy position. I got it marked over here. Okay. So playing back basically into these, and then I parceled most of these out once it starts showing weakness, and then I trailed the remaining risk to this low on those CFD trades. So we'll see if they, want to continue up at New York here or what they want to do. Already can see price selling off pre-New York, which that's a good sign. So I like that breakdown pre-New York. Let's see. Thank you. All right, guys. So we got about 40 seconds and we're already in profit on the position. It's falling pretty good. So let's see. ES is already fallen as well. So, I mean, you're seeing YM not being able to get back into support. Come on, don't just shake up here. Buy this dip, man. Buy this dip. Yes. Top Step saying buy. Right. This is really. I don't think this is really a dip, but we'll see. Okay, so there's that New York Open. And out the gate, we're getting pushed down on that 15. Let's watch ES here as well. Let's see. Okay, so like I said, I think a lot of people are taking profit like we were on those overnight positions. So this worked out perfect. We took profit and then we shorted into the position. Let's go. Hey, babe. All right, guys. So that position looks really good. Good anticipation, right, from that New York Open. If you have the crown forming areas, then you could be protecting yourself because, um, if price is going to fall, then you already have the crown instead of the fall of New York, right? It's all about the location of where they open that New York price. Now, as they push down into the demand area here on ES 15 and on here, right, where the accumulation happened, if they do, then that's where we're gonna have to be alert because that's where those trailing risk buys I have are right here. All right, so they might hit this liquidity area and reaccumulate, or they may not even get down there. Right, but my goal is now is just to cover the futures position that I have, a small amount there, and then to just be able to manage some other trades here. Really, really nice. And then we grab this on Indy, all right, guys, no swap like we talk about. So we'll see if this is the one, all right? All right, price is falling really quickly here. Really nice. Okay. You guys got to just watch it. How do you explain what happened yesterday? The market sold off and so What's good, bro? I'm already short in those positions like I've been putting into mastermind, and so that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I shorted from the crown, where I was giving back those buys, so we'll see what they do. Where's this? So if they reject these dailies on NQ, they could easily kind of want to try to come back, right? But once you have the crown area, you could be break even, right? If you play it at New York, you're gonna have a lot more heat on you. But we got to remember that, this buying below daily open thing could very well happen easily. So watching this area, watching ES, right? We've already made that low on ES, right, on the 15. So the likelihood of them getting down to the accumulation is a lot higher. So I'd like to see if we could rip this wick out potentially, right, for that trailing risk. Okay, because if we can break that 22-1, then I think we'll definitely the buyers will take profit on those positions. And then Donald Trump speaks at 10, so got to have that understanding as well. So I'm being patient here, watching these trades on multiple different brokers right now. So I'm just trying to be patient here. The way it's bouncing off that area, I don't like, but I like how ES has already kind of reached and continues to reach. So, they're just being kind of disrespectful here. I'd say when you're looking at a 1 hour, it looks like it could absorb off the area though, because we still have those highs a little bit above. But just depends on where you have the trade. I have that locked off inside the crown at this point. So either it's going to come back to my BE on that futures, or it'll just rally to the downside 22,050s. All right, and seeing ES for me on that 5 minute making that structural lower and 15 makes me a little bit more excited that this will drip. Okay, so I'm going to jump to 15 here, but you just got to have that idea of what's going on right there. Yeah, yeah, I like bonds here. And now you have top step buying. Okay, so this is where I feel like people get faked out though. So we'll see what they end up doing here. Yeah, I'm long 68. Long 68. Okay, so now they're longing positions, guys. So for me, if I have the crown form, I'm just staying break even. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Because I would usually long this, but I have long, so I don't need to add really into that part. Did it cut me down? Okay, bet. Okay, guys, let's continue to watch. No signs of strength on ES, right? And basically, what I'm looking at, just so you guys have an idea, is the range of the day, right? You have the low, the previous day low, which is always a target, and you have your intern high right now, right, of the day, which is here. So I'd love to see price get down to the 50% at least of the range of day. Okay. All right. Now you're going to, hopefully, we would see the same thing over here, and we're already pushing that range. So nice capitulation here, right? Down to the right areas. So that's perfect. I'm watching 1 hours and 4 hours to my left as well, and they're destroying the 1 hour area. So I bought ES in the 1 hour area yesterday. So if you didn't trail your risk, like I showed people, right, then you just lost a lot of the expected value in that push down. Okay. Really, really nice here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. So let's see if we can continue to push down here. Really, really nice. Really nice sell in those crown forms, right? Now, ES would have been very difficult today, I would say. I want to bring this over really quick just for the 1 hour perspective for the video. How we're playing, right? We're going right back into the demand. And YM had already failed. And we got quite a bit of ways to go to get to like this wick right here, okay? And what you're seeing, I believe personally, is profit taking, right? You're seeing profit taking because we've had those long positions, right? We have positions from down here, we have positions from here. And eventually, when these individuals like us, they take profit above the daily sweep, they're gonna see price retrace. That's what I believe, right? So okay, now that we're in the daily open, it's either we're going to meet the objective and go lower, or we're going to start to hesitate in this area. Okay, so what I'm looking at is going to be the 5 minute time frame and looking at the 50% of this wick. If they can start to, you know, 5 minute candles just keep pushing, that's great. And they push out this wick, that's great. Nice. Let's go. So everything that we called out in that mastermind played out pretty well, right? Like I said, I parceled out those buys from last night, and then I sold into that position just to see if New York they were going to topple. So pretty good way to end the week, I would say personally. Now they're still kind of hesitating in this area, and they're getting people that the overnight traders. They took the overnight traders' money. Okay. Let's go. And guys, I just want to show this too for the 4 hour perspective we've been talking about. Is it rejected, right? The supply candle. That's what I said at market open. So if it couldn't go above there, if this one couldn't go above here, and you already had YM fail in the levels, it was pretty evident that we would get a downside move, I thought, personally. Okay. And just to kind of get perspective on this, because we do have the 5 minute we're looking at, but we really want to see how they're going to push the 1 hour demand, right? Because people are going to make the worst decision inside the previous accumulation and inside this demand candle on each one. So let's see if we can continue to reach for this wick here. So we reach for the wick. I think we reach for the 22,050 areas here on futures micros. Just want to see if they're going to rip this wick, right? Like I said, what I'm looking at is a 5 minute here to my right, and they're already printing below the demand, right? So this candle has 4 minutes. If they just rip it here, it's gone. Let's go. And then my focus on ES for you guys that are trading ES is going to be inside 1 hour demand. Observe the masses and do the opposite. You want to be doing the opposite when people are doing specific things inside the supply demand candles. Nice. We just broke those lows on NQ, right? So there we go. There we go, baby. We're about 11 minutes into the session, so not bad. Not bad. So watching this area, now that they've taken that liquidity, right? Overnight traders, you could see a response. You got to be ready here, right? I personally would like to see them move down, but as soon as that liquidity is grabbed, you got to have the idea to understand what's going on. I think higher time frames we're looking really, really good though. If we could just strip. Okay, so still kind of seeing this here, watching this price very tight, seeing if that 5 minutes going to show any signs of strength. If it doesn't, then it's just going to unleash right to the downside. All the 4 hours look really good. I see YM just going lower than 43.8, right, on that US 30. So let's go. Let's see. Nice. We're pushing more down, right? So kind of look at this from a 1 hour perspective. All right, on NQ, we have a lot of room to go down to where my buys that are break even, right? But on most of the trailing risk I had here, and I have a little bit of volume left on those NAS 100 trades now, okay? But not that much. So still seeing, for me, what I like to see is a 5 minute price. You guys know what to look for on the 1 hour there. But now I like to see if there's going to be 5 minute strength come into the market. I want to know, right? Because if one candle prints on NQ after taking that liquidity, it could turn around under daily open and return back up. But if you don't get that 5 minute candle to print on, like I'd say ES right here, a strong candle, and this one to print is a strong one, then it's not the sign that they're gonna that the sellers are short covering in my eyes, and we're gonna still continue lower at that point. Top Step wants it to go up. I mean, that's not a bad situation right here when the prices grab that much liquidity on NQ. But I just think we could still move down on that 15 based on the range of the day and from previous day, right? Which why the heck is it not marked on this one? So this is your previous day low right here. So this is a massive target. All right. So previous day low. And you're not seeing any 15 or 5 minute strength, so that thing is starting to get pretty weak, right? Oh, there we go. Now it's starting to come in. Fast moves usually trick people, so let's see. Right, into doing something a little crazy. That's a good 5 minute close. I usually like to play the second 5 minute candle. So it did take liquidity on ES. You do have like a intern HOD. So it's just kind of, whatever you have, you just gotta, manage it. HOD. I would rather better buys down here, but that's me personally. And then just identifying this range from yesterday, from the buy side people to the new HOD, where people are going to get weak handed is what we use fibs for. All right, so we have an HOD, which is here. I like the HOD today with NQ because it's a crown form, right? When I get a crown form, that's usually a pretty good one. But like I said, they're starting to push that price now that they took that liquidity of the day, which makes sense. So just watching, for me personally, I'm just watching the closures here of the 5 minute candles because if the 5 minute candles to me don't print in a specific manner, then it's going to be hard for price to go up. But ES looks okay. If we get one more, both out of both of these to print a second bullish candle, they could be on the way back up. But if you have that crown forming trade, like anywhere from up in here, my risk is right there on this trade. So, um, you know, I'm not worried so much about New York Open, to be honest, because of the location of where it opened up. Okay. Okay, so you're starting to see a little bit of strength, like I said, after that liquidity grab under the 50 here. So, we've taken that overnight trader out. So let's see how this 5 minute closes on both of these. But you do have, it's kind of sneaky, but they have one bullish print. This is a second bullish print under daily anymore. And like I said, they'll start to try to sneak this move back up off that 4 hour, 50% demand play. Now, if you can start to see ES get weak at the 50% of the range from previous day lows to the current highs, that would be a good sign that this would. But they're really starting to like this imbalance of that New York Open. There's lots of people's risk, I would think, right there. So they could test that area, or they could just kind of trick people into buying it here and then start to sell off again. We'll see. So this 5 minute close, like I said, will be key on both of these to see what we end up getting. Starting to get weak there on the 5 as we're coming into the candle closure. Look at ES, guys, right? Really, really nice. ES already dripping like that. To me, it's just a 15 minute range dropping, all right? It's not even like people are like, oh, they just hit the sell button. It's the 50% of the range is just failing, guys. That's all it is. Now let's bring this over so you can see where I'm looking at higher time frame. If these do start to really drip, we're looking at these 4 hour plays. YM just took that 4 hour low, so that's really good on those shorts for my boy Tay. Let's go, brother. All right, so I think we're getting ready to get weak here on NQ as well, which is really good. Okay, so we push on down. We're getting into that 15 minute area. All right. And so now I'm really focused on locking this one in here. Really, really good pushes here. So there is news in 9 minutes, guys. So keep that in your mind. Okay, so we're still now we're in the area where I would say the real area of buys and the previous day buys on ES, like the ones I had right in here, they're being tested, and those people's risk is going to be under those equal lows that we had yesterday. And so now I'd love to see, since we reached down, if that makes sense, right, to the accumulation on ES, I would love to see us reach down to this key level here at 22,050 on that futures trade. Okay. So still just kind of looking at this area, watching the 1 hours here on my left. I feel like we have really good areas for the short sides down. This is kind of what my eyes were at on the 1 hours. I showed you guys the four, but now as we can push down into the 1 hour demand, the 78.6 retracement, we're already in the right area on ES, and we've completely, capitulated out on YM. So, Tay, that's why I was, sure, I don't know if he's on or not, but if trailing that risk down to 44, 245 would be definitely lit at this point. All right, so still just watching this area. Now they're testing that area, right? And that 22-1. So it's like you want to see them. You want to see if they're gonna do any 5 minute strength, right? But this is 15. But I'm just watching them both to see if there's gonna be a 5 minute strength candle. But I think we're still too high on NQ. I think we need to fall to that 22.050. So looking at that price ES, that 5 minute candle is still weak, but you want to start watching it close right here. Okay. So we're still breaking down that 5 minute. No signs of strength. All right. That's pretty much what I'm seeing. So still watching that price, no 5 minute strength off that 22-1 right now. But like I said, you're wanting to see the candle extend through and make that new low if it's going to fall. Okay, so we're starting to fall over even more, which is really, really good. Okay, so we're not getting any 5 minute strength on NQ, which is showing me that we're attacking down on that 15 into those that previous accumulation, that previous 71.88.6 area potentially. But you want to just see it continue down to the area. Okay. And so on my positions on that futures, I only needed so much. So I'm just personally managing that the CFDs at this point on that NV trade to see what happens there. And if you have the NQ trade, NAS, micros, or minis, and you took the crown forming short, I would trail my risk to the top end of this imbalance here at that New York Open. Because if price, after capturing the liquidity of the overnight player, if it retraces back up, there's a massive imbalance where lots of late players probably press the sell button. So there's lots of liquidity at this 22,200, I would say. And then we still have the higher time frame when you look at the higher time frame targets, but them failing the market open, and then at a point when you have a point of interest plus a crown form, that's like a go-to sign. To me, what I like to see in a situation like this when ES is already kind of pushing, is that you're getting that 5 minute push down, right, on NQ, and you're not getting any white candle strength, right? Because essentially what you're looking for, like I have those shorts, right? Essentially for this short to take a profit, what I'm gonna have to do is I have to put a buy order in, right? And so one thing I've noticed with price action is when the 5 minute engulfs, right, when the 5 minute shifts in price delivery, that's when you're starting to see the true shorts covering, and you're able to come in and factor off of a new low and play back up to those people trying to cover fast. So there's another extension down. So they're reaching people, right? They're reaching people here and they're pushing people on that 1 hour NQ. And I think the real reason is like the lows we identified and said that yesterday would come back as a target. Look, there we go. There they are. There they are. There's the exact lows we talked about. Okay. So really, really cool. They're just destroying the ranges here. Now, when they fast push into the accumulation, right, into the 786, 886, this is where the manipulation happens as well, right? Because now they're essentially, when you go back to NQ here at 9, news is coming out. They use news as an excuse to push the price. They're inside the accumulation. So now they push price really fast to that accumulation. And when I see that, I trail my risk down on positions that I have. So futures were already good for the day. And then we're just managing, like I said, the CFD shorts. So that's where my mind is, yo. Like unless I get a 5 minute signal, I'm just gonna continue to watch price eat away on the higher time frames and look for absorption inside of accumulations and the dump candles. Okay, so still just watching the price. Like I said, there's nothing here. When you look at the swing low from previous day to the current HOD, we're in that area where we could see absorption inside that previous accumulation. But if you're nervous about anything, all I would say to do is to trail your risk down to secure. That's a pretty good response, y'all. I will say, um, in the right area, right? So let's check that 5 minute. And so for me at this point, what I would have to see is I would have to see a 5 minute candle and what's called a next candle entry off of that. And so like if it's starting to do that, cool. But I'd have to see the candle close bullish on both of these for me. So if we break these lows on ES and we just continue to capitulate over and don't see any strength here, I'll just be done for the day. I mean, because I've already got them managed to where I want them. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll look at the higher time frames before we dip out. Seeing that dollar strength come in as well. So right here, right, this is where I start to see, if this candle is the close bullish back above 22.1, I kind of start to think that those shorts, because of the overnight liquidity, right, that they started to cover, right? But we have to see in 26 seconds, 25 seconds, this candle closing like this. And then I would maybe look and see what that smaller time frame looks like because that looks trash. So to me, it's just waiting on this 15 and 5 and just being patient. If you look at the daily and understand where you're at location wise, right, on those type of trades, right, we have the daily supply shorts, if that makes sense. So where we want to play down to 21,700 potential. So let me bring over actually because I have the MV shorts just to kind of understand like what we're really looking at here, right? I have the short from right there, right, above those previous days highs, and my goal is to push back down into the 4 hour demand, right, 21 700, or potentially going below where I had buys, right, because I trailed my risk up to that low day. Where I had buys, people still sitting there, and then that demand candle 21.8. So I want to see them come down and hit that demand candle, take out the people that don't have a plan, and then maybe we'll continue higher off a rebalance here, or we'll just continue to extend down until this demand candle here, right? So that's pretty much where my focus is on that. And it looks like ES just reached for those lows. Did it reach? Oh no. Okay. And so for me, like I said, there's just no 5 minute sign of strength. So that just lets me know that shorts haven't started to cover yet. But like think about like I said, the daily opens in alignment with the New York today with ES. So it's like all these people are short above daily are wanting this break, right? They're all wanting to see that. So what are the noobs gonna do? They're gonna start pressing sell in the wrong area down here. So it might reverse just because there's so many people that are in a great spot that have trailed risk down, but then there's so many people making a bad decision right here. Price capitulating over, no 5 minute strength, right? So I'm gonna jump back into the 15 because there's really nothing for me to look at until I get that signal. And I'm watching higher time frame, like 4 hour daily over here for my CFD positions. And I mean, that was a banger, guys. That was a banger because all the people that, like I said, I took profit on a lot of my buy positions, and then once I took partials when we were in that crown form, I trailed the risk on the highest one to here, and so I was able to come back in there and short that position down. Now ES would have been hard. I don't care what anybody says. That would have been difficult to short that. This was easy. You get a big, nice FU candle that you can frame up, a force candle. So it was just a lot easier to me. And so we get 5 minute strength. I'm going to look at 15s only here and 1 hour on ES because I don't see any strength over there right now. Now we start to get wickage here inside the 1 hour demand, right? And the 15 starts to show some strength, and I'll jump back into that five. But as of right now, my eyes are more looking at this from a higher time frame perspective. Right. So like from this perspective here and seeing where we're at. We're toppling over and looks like we could, YMs on a free fall outside of distribution. So that's nice wickage in the area. Now, where I like to really gauge the candle is the 1 hour down candles 50% to really get all your entries in the 71 or 78.6 of this type of area only, and then to be playing below the 50, right? So your risk would be at the previous day low, and then you're able to pay yourself, quite a bit once you even get back above the 50 or back in the POI. But then as you were to go take the HOD. So all the noobs are going to make, this is why I say, right? Noobs buy tops and sell bottoms, right? Noobs buy tops and they sell the bottom. And what do they sell the bottoms usually? Inside demands. Right, and those buys that we actually have, their stop loss on this on that CFD, the stop loss is at the previous low of day, right? So we took positions, we partialed positions, right? Like so, we say we took fat positions. They broke out of this and they started to rally up into 22-1 right before the close yesterday. I partialed them before the fees came in, right? Then yeah, so partial before the fees came in. And so then you can see how they basically retraced all those people that just bought late, right? So on the remaining risk that we had left, we moved that risk to the LOD, right? So the entry was here. Actually, excuse me, we moved the risk to like here. Um, and now that we've made that new close higher, we've made this higher low. If we start to retrace back up to go get this liquidity target I've been wanting, that's doable. That could happen. But right now I'm going to stick with what they've already given me and just stick with that momentum and see if we can reach down to 21,900 was my target area, this green area, and then getting below. So this area was also a target area as well if we do fall lower. And then let me go back here and look at the 5 minutes, and then we'll be out of here probably. So it's exactly what I was saying. You don't want to, it's about locations. You don't want to be playing in the wrong location. A lot of individuals sold those lows just because they thought it was going to go lower and they run their liquidity first, then they fall. And so now you're starting to see, like I said, we got to the accumulation area, 15-minute strength, check your 5 minute. And the 5 minutes got a nice up candle. Check that 1 minute now. And you've got a 1 minute shift in price delivery and a nice little shift. Yeah, nice little 1 minute shift in price delivery right there with that 5 minute wick. So I still would be very hesitant to play something like this on a Friday because I'm still thinking that people are in profit taking mode from this higher time frame. So 9:15, I'll probably be done. I'll leave those crown formed risk that I have on CFD break even. And like I said, I was already able to secure that little 200 on futures. So I'm good for the week. I just I wouldn't personally want to play. I mean, but that doesn't matter. But I wouldn't want to play with two wicks like that. But that also could be just showing that there's a massive low level of support there, and it's the way that they got there. Only, I would say if you're playing in these areas down here, the only way you got it is if you're a smaller time frame player. So now, like what I used to see is when I'd see a 1 minute engulfing, I used to play the first candle that would play the area like this and put my risk at the low, but these look terrible. All right, so I would rather see since I have those shorts, these just fall, but we'll see by 9:15, and then if we do end up just falling out the rest of the day, I'll update that over the weekend. Twenty one 936. Okay, so 5 minutes looking weak. All right, 5 minutes looking real weak there. That's perfect. Okay, because I like to see. You guys know what I like to see in the 5 minute. Okay. Now, like I said, that previous day low, that liquidity is everything. So when they take that area, right, when they even if they this bottom ticket by a tick, right, and they reach for that low what it's reading over there, 6102 3/4, they even just reach for it. You want to be trailing your risk to the top end, excuse me, the bottom end of the imbalance if you have shorts, if that makes sense. Because it could easily shuffle new orders and then retrace back up to fill an imbalance. So that's why I use that strategy to trail my risk. So cool. For that 15-minute close, I haven't seen not a sign of strength since New York Open. So I'll update the trades in the afternoon. But I'm pretty grateful for this week. And yeah, so we'll see what we get. But I'm gonna end the stream part and then we can chop it up.